Hi everybody, this is Brendon Baillod. I've got another really rare historical book about the Great Lakes region here. This is the 1878 Snyder and Van Vechten Illustrated Historical Atlas of Wisconsin. This is a giant book. So, for reference, it's a tabletop or desktop atlas. So a really big format book. I'll show you by comparison a standard quarto book next to it, or octavo I mean. The Great Lakes is really quite small. This is a giant book, and it makes it somewhat difficult to handle. I'm going to give you a little walk through this book. It needs significant restoration. A couple of things you see with this book right off the bat are that it has substantial red rot acidification to the leather. It's losing its leather in a number of places. This book is not case bound like a modern book. It's bound in boards. What that means is that the spine is actually glued to the back with large stitching holding the cover onto the book. And so I'm going to be kind of ginger how I open it, but what you see basically is that the front cover is still attached with its hinge, but it's actually come off. Here you get to see some of the really impressive woodcut engraving work in it, and the giant title page from 1878. I'm going to show you some other contents, obviously, but it's basically got a lot of really good early maps of basically 1878, what the world was like, what the state was like. But then, when you start getting into it, it has a lot of other really interesting maps, geological maps, weather maps, maps of different crops, different, of course, all the governors of Wisconsin. And then we start getting into the county maps with individual views. Like here we have Racine showing the layout of the harbor, and some very interesting early woodcut engravings from that area. There are even scientific maps, geological maps. You can see many pages of this with town layouts. Here we've got Whitewater, Elkhorn, Geneva, showing what the city's layouts were in 1878. These books are extremely desirable and highly collectible. There are a few reasons, partially because of all the really quite early views of structures that existed at the time in these various cities, but also because of obviously the municipal maps, and then of course the beautiful woodcut engravings that are in them. Now, there are very few of these books left intact, and the reason is that you can make a lot more money with one of these by breaking it up and selling the plates online than you can by keeping it intact, obviously. Like here we have the county plat maps, and you can see by section they're laid out. Really historically important books. They made these for a few years. 78, I think, is the earliest. They do have a few of these from later years, these historical atlases by Snyder and Van Vechten. They were made in Milwaukee, and just amazing historical imagery. So this one, I'm going to work on restoring this. This is going to be a long-term project. This is too big to put on a bookshelf, so this book will not go on a shelf. I'm probably going to put it on a lectern once I get done stabilizing and restoring it. These books are quite valuable. They tend to fetch in the neighborhood of $500 to $1,000. This book is complete. It's not missing anything. It's got every single page. The pages are in good condition. They're clean. There's no significant tearing, mutilation, things like that. So the book is really a fine example. What you notice in the back is there's a whole history of every county and of the state, which is really kind of cool. Every county has its history here. And then there are biographical sketches. So it's like a big combination book of both biographicals and county histories, plat maps, and woodcuts. Here's one of my favorites, a beautiful view of the steamer Chicago coming into Port Washington at the Novelty Iron Works. Something that I don't think there are any other images of anywhere. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and tune back in, and I'll try to show you my progress as I work on restoring this really, really rare and valuable large format Wisconsin book. Thanks so much.